Women tend to overvalue themselves while men tend to undervalue themselves.
As men, when we grow up, we have friends that, tease us and bully us. Like, oh man, your nose is big as hell, like they tell us these things that, to women it might sound demeaning, but to us, they're giving us a reality check. So from a young age, we grew up getting reality checks constantly in a joking manner. Your friends are going to joke with you and tease you. And I think on the other hand, women, they get more praises as they grow up. So they grow up all this time through, teenage years into adulthood. And then you wonder now when somebody actually tell you like, hey, your nose is kind of big. You're like, I haven't been told that my whole life, but they're being lying to
Do you think that men tend to insult each other and not mean it, while women tend to compliment each other and not mean it?
100%.
100%. A woman will have a friend who weigh 400 pounds, and she will tell her she look good with them little bit of shorts on.
You can go anywhere to get the lies, but I know you came here to get the truth. Welcome to the Alphasphere.
Welcome to the Alphasphere, the only place on the planet that's totally engulfed in positivity and totally submerged in alpha energy. I'm your host, Dr. BOA.
It's your opportunity to keep it real.
I'm keeping it real. They already know I gave you chlamydia because I told you when I got mad I wanted to give you chlamydia again. I already told you that.
You didn't give me shit.
Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did. I definitely burnt you, but it's okay.
No,
it's okay. That was my payback for all the years of trauma. I just finally got my payback and burnt you, so.
Okay, and what about the trauma your mama put you through?
Oh, I dog her too. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. My mama gets dealt with around here. My mama gets dealt with. My mama gets dealt with. You know, what about the what?
What about the what? Exactly.
I was gonna say, what about the trauma?
I ain't trying to hear it. You already talking.
I said, what about the trauma you put your
the drama? No.
But then I forgot your mama scared of you, so she can't even say shit to you.
No, she not.
Yes, she is. She's scared you're gonna spit on her again. You gonna spit on her again.
Let me tell y'all something, man. That tonality, that laugh, that giggle is what toxicity sounds like.
You gotta tell you anything, dog. You gotta be able to stomach anything.
What percentage of women do you think that had a train ran over?
Oh, man. Hey, I'm gonna let her answer that. I have no idea.
95.
95?
I mean, we got a lot of hoes out here. We got a lot.
Friends, was that like a normal thing when you was growing up? Like, just like, hey, man, I done had two buddies over here.
Yeah, growing up, I got a lot of friends.
You talking Chicago here?
Yeah, I mean Chicago. Yeah, it's a lot of people that experienced when they was young.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So yeah, they was going through. Yeah, that was the norm. It was okay, but not okay. It's like if you know, you know. If you don't, you know what I mean? Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, I think they do it when they young. Anyway, everybody do it when they young.
Everybody do it when they're young. That's what she said. Now, birds of a feather flock together. If your friends do it, if you had a lot of friends who did it, they were your friends because you did it too. You know, here's in a certain environment, man. In a certain environment, that's all you have. If you're in an environment where most people are impoverished, that's all you have. All you have is fun and intimacy. That's all you have. You know, I remember, man, when I was in 8th grade, man, there was a girl pregnant, man, in my class. Matter of fact, 7th grade. 7th grade, man, I'll never forget, man. There was a girl pregnant in 7th grade. When I got to the school, it was like, I went 3 schools in 7th grade, man. So when I got to the school, she was already pregnant. She was like 6 months. She was big pregnant. 7th grade, dog. She was big pregnant, 7th grade. Of course, a couple of months later, she disappeared for about a month. Then she popped back up at school. Man, and I was the favorite man in the world to her. Or the favorite boy. I was in 7th grade. I mean, she wouldn't leave the boy alone. And she was a cutie too, man. And now in retrospect, you know, you got some grown perv out here who, she was a pretty girl. You know, she looked older than she was. Now she didn't look grown, but you know, she was in 7th grade. She looked like she was maybe in 10th or 11th grade. And but I see it was because some grown joker was, you know, doing things what he shouldn't have been doing. So I look back at that, man, and I'm like, she went, had a baby, man, came back, and she was a girl, but you know what I'm saying? She was a frisky girl. He started something in or turned something on in a man that couldn't be turned off. And that's what happened when these girls, and when they're young and an older man gets a hold to them, he turns them into something they shouldn't be. And so they become a sexual being. And so they spend the rest of their lives being that. And so by the time you meet her, she's what? She's connected to too many husbands. She's bonded with too many husbands, man. And I'm gonna be honest with you. In that situation, here's what you got to understand. You will never be appreciated in that situation because the best thing that's ever happened to her, like this girl right here with this train, the best thing that ever happened to her was physical. She's reminiscing about that. Look how excited she is to talk about it. If the best thing that ever happened to her intimately is a train, how can you compete with that being one man? How you compete with that being one man? It's impossible. Because of the years of trauma, she willingly gave the man chlamydia. Now, what I would do, I would get the people involved. I would go press charges. That's what I would do. For that woman to sit and say that, and it's on video, hey, man, that's what I would do. If ain't nobody else got it, BOA got it. Tell them to call BOA if you want to go do that. That's what I would do. Because when you look at it, man, you got to understand that. But look at the things he said. What about the trauma your mama caused you? Listen, I hadn't even listened to this. We just talked about that. What about the trauma your mama caused you? See, this trauma it doesn't die. The trauma that made her do that is still not gone. She may feel like she got a little payback from him, but the damage is still there. See, we're not talking about actions. We're not talking about her actions. We're talking about the damage that will cause her to do something like that. That's not gone. She needs counseling. Now, she's super hood too. So, my advice to you is just, unless you're super hood yourself, man, and that's what you want to do, that's kind of, hood chicks have it worse. You know what I'm saying? They have it worse because there are so many opportunities for so many things to happen. You know what I'm saying? Hood chicks and country chicks, they have it worse, man. Anywhere there isn't any real structure, and the country and the hood is two places that, when I say country, I'm talking about the backwoods sticks country. It's different out here, man. So what you got to understand, man, is that when you hear this level of toxicity, you got to understand no woman can be what she needs to be in a situation with you if she has these types of issues. Like, what kind of trauma did they have in that relationship, man? And you got to think about it. The more relationships she's been with, the more intimate partners she has, the more likely she is to have this. And there's only one group of women you hear bragging about their right to have as many intimate partners as they want. And here's the thing, man. I'm not saying anything's wrong with it. I'm saying it's to be avoided by men who care about themselves. I'm not even saying go change it. I'm not even saying talk bad about it. It don't matter to me. It shouldn't matter to you. Like, man, listen, a woman can do whatever she wants to do. I don't care. I literally don't care at all. I don't care who a woman want to date. I don't care who she want to mate. I don't care if a woman don't like me. I don't care. I don't care if a woman think I'm ugly. I don't care. None of that matters. But I'm just saying this so you men can understand. Stop being sold a false bill of goods that you're going to find fit, feminine, and friendly in the chocolate flavor. You're just not. And here's the thing. They don't care. They don't care to be fit, feminine, and friendly. So I'm not even telling you that, they're trying to be that. So watch it. They're trying to trick you. They're not even trying to present themselves as fit, feminine, and friendly. All the ones who are already got a husband. Already got a husband, man.
I've learned to bring my husband pleasure, not just physically, mentally. Good intellectual conversation. Being crazy and goofy, lighthearted, comes home. He knows he's coming home to me twerking on him randomly. I bring my husband pleasure because when he is down, I have learned not to hold him. He does not desire that. He does want me to be there. Just be there. No need to talk about it. No need to kiss him. No need to hold him. And give him that space to breathe. Bring my husband pleasure by knowing who he is. Doesn't always have to prove it to me. If I don't understand a particular thing that he says or a particular thing that he does, but I understand who he is. He desires that. What a beautiful place to be.
she's saying some amazing things, man. She's talking that good talk. Sounds like she got it figured out. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of time we hear these women figure it out when their husband ain't around, and then the husband have a totally different outlook on it. Like, that's not what you're doing.